Namaste, Yogi. I welcome you to this yoga and cardiovascular health video. There will be 3 parts to this video. The first part, I will explain the benefits of yoga for the heart and why we should avoid certain types of yoga. The second part of the video, I will debrief or walk you through 3 different poses in yoga that you might do or probably will do or at least encounter in a yoga class for cardiovascular health if you have a heart ailment or condition. And part 3, I will just explain or name away some poses that are also beneficial that should be done to help you take care of your heart. So let's begin with part 1. There has been a lot of studies over the past 20 years, basically, I don't want to say proving without a doubt, but showing that there is a lot of beneficial health benefits of a yoga routine if you have a heart condition or ailment or a cardiovascular disease. And it's all about picking the right poses and not doing certain types of yoga that could exacerbate or damage the heart or worsen your condition. So, some things to keep in mind are, let's say you're a student and you want to do hot yoga, or you have a student that wants to do hot yoga, which is fast-paced yoga. If they haven't been doing it for years already and they don't have a doctor's note, then you probably do not want them to continue that program. You want them to stick with regular yoga because the body tends to adapt to what we've already done over time. But even if they continue doing it, there would be certain inherent risks of them continuing hot yoga while having a heart ailment or heart condition. And the main thing is you want to explain to your student, or as a student, I need to explain to you that I need to meet you where you are in life. And it is perfectly okay to do general, regular yoga. It does not have to be fast-paced, and it will be more suited to who you are, your body, and there will be a lot less risks and a lot more benefits for you as an individual. Also, to keep in mind that you can be an advanced yogi without doing fast-paced yoga or hot yoga or certain types of yoga that can put you at risk in this time in your life. And it's just important to know that. Okay, so let us begin with the 3 poses we will do. We will do a tree pose, a downward dog pose with a modification, and we will also do a cobra pose with a modification. And the cobra pose is a bit tricky. We got to be extra careful because one of the things as yogis that we have to avoid doing is putting the head under the heart in our yoga poses. So if you have a heart ailment, you probably won't be doing a bridge pose or anything where your head is upward and away from your heart. Okay, so to do a tree pose, we want to find our balance in our feet, maybe walk it out a bit for a moment, put our weight on one foot, and we just want to kickstand our opposite leg against our ankle. we can bring our hands heart center. And over time, if we find a good balance here, we can decide to bring it up a bit. And there's really no risk there. We can bring it up to the shin, or we can even bring it up to the thigh. But we really want to start right here. Just work on that kickstand. And that is a modification and building and working your way up towards the pose. Next, we will go into a downward dog. I don't have a metal chair. This is the chair that I have. But to go into a downward dog, instead of doing it on the floor, you could bend the body and push into the chair like this, ever so lightly. And then to come up, you step inward, raise the arms up again. Excuse me. Step back out, bring one arm down, the other arm down. Give a slight push into the chair. We don't want to push hard, but ideally our chair will be on our yoga mat, which will keep it from sliding. Then we can come up again, walk forward, maybe raise our arms if we wish to. And the other pose that we will be doing, excuse me, I gotta move my camera, is a cobra pose. So, I know I said you don't want the head above the heart, but this is a general pose where you're not super extending it over the heart, and with just a slight extension as such in cobra, you should be fine. So you lay prone on the floor, maybe bring the arms in a bit, or put them out at elbows to the forehead. That way you're not extending as much in the low back and bringing your head back as far as you typically would. And we would just breathe in this pose. Slight extension. We don't really want to come all the way up here because it can cause unnecessary strain on the heart. So those are the three poses. And to end this video, I know I said I would tell you of some poses that you can do, so I will. I know I brought up a pose that we should avoid, which is the bridge pose, or a camel pose, or a bow pose. We really want to avoid those poses because the head is away from the heart and the chest, and it really does bring certain risks in our yoga routine if we do those and we have a heart ailment. But many poses that we can do, we can do a lot of sitting poses like easy, adepts, and even lotus pose. If your hips are open and flexible enough and you've built your way up to it, you can do a lotus pose and you'll be perfectly fine. There's no risk there. You can do a hero's pose, a reclined hero's pose. Standing, we can do warrior 1, warrior 2, warrior 3, and reverse warrior. And there's not much risk there. We can even do a triangle pose with modifications. And of course, with many of these poses, we might want to take modifications as well. If you're going to do a seated forward bend, which is another pose you can do, maybe you have a bolster in front of you as you bend, and those are some poses that will really benefit you over time They'll keep you from a greater risk of having to get a stent in your chest or in your heart, and they can, I don't want to say prevent entirely, but it can lessen the chance of having a medical procedure done uh, on your heart condition. So I thank you for joining me, and namaste, yogis. Have a good one.